In the election 2016 segment tonight, the un-Donalds. Every time Donald Trump lobs a verbal grenade, the other GOP presidential candidates are asked to react. Jeb Bush wasted no time saying the Donalds' remarks about Hillary Clinton lacked decorum, but Chris Christie and Ted Cruz are making it very clear they want to stay out of the fray.
I am not going to respond to everything that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. It may fascinate all of you. It is of absolutely no interest to me. I'm running for president of the United States, Jake.
Okay, I will say, when you say you have no thoughts on that, I don't believe you, but I will move on.
No, Jake, I didn't say I had no thoughts. I said I had no interest. That's different. Plenty of thoughts, no interest in discussing it.
I don't need to be another political pundit. I'm going to let Donald Trump speak for himself. I'm going to speak for myself. And I'm going to focus on my positive, optimistic, conservative vision for this country.
Are Christie and Cruz smart to stay mum? Joining me now, Fox News contributor Monica Crowley. So the noteworthy part of that for me, Cruz has always been there. He's never really attacked Donald Trump. Chris Christie had, and realized Cruz's success in not doing it, he switched his strategy a little bit.
Yeah, he learned his lesson, I think, from the experience of other candidates, including himself, who really did go after Donald Trump early. You're right, Senator Cruz has played this brilliantly from the start. He got Donald Trump, he got the phenomenon, he got what was going on out there, and created something of an alliance with Trump, which exists to this day. Very smart. Chris Christie, I think, has learned that anytime anybody attacks Donald Trump in a frontal way, Trump hits back and he can flatten you with one turn of phrase. Look at Jeb Bush. Low energy, the guy's dead. $100 million and he's dead. So what Christie is doing, and I understand Governor Christie's frustration, he was Donald Trump in the political arena before there was a political Donald Trump. So I get the frustration on his part and the other candidates too. But I think it's very smart just to lay back, run your own campaign, connect with your voters in your own way, and let Trump run his own campaign.
All right, so some news today came out. Washington Post ran an article, a political editorial ad. I guess it was a cartoon. But let's take a little history. Let's take a step back a little bit. Ted Cruz had an ad that he used his children in. We have a little piece of it. Take a listen to this.
The whole family will enjoy reading stories like The Grinch, who lost her emails.
I know just what I'll do, she said with a snicker. I'll use my own server, and no one will be the wiser.
And if you act now, we'll throw in the inspiring new Christmas story, soon to be an instant classic.
Please read this one, Daddy.
Okay.
The Senator Who Saved Christmas.
Oh, this is a good one.
All right, so now we'll show the picture, the ad, the cartoon of Ted Cruz, where his children are pictured as leased monkeys, really, and there's a big outcry. Where are we on this, Monica?
Well, I think what this shows, and that this comes from a leftist political cartoonist at the leftist Washington Post, this exposes, at least for me, the inherent racism of some on the left. You've got vicious hypocrisy coming out of the left. You also have their indulgence in identity politics, which is what this is. Can you imagine for a second if a conservative or political cartoonist put the shoe on the other foot and portrayed a liberal's children in this way? Holy hell would have broken loose. But for some reason, when the left does it to conservatives, it's fine. What they did here was take a Latino man's children, Eric, turn them into monkeys, and then try to defend that and say that's okay. They do that. They try to brand Donald Trump as a racist, and then they're all scratching their heads wondering why so many of the American people are supporting those two.
Right, and the editor of the Washington Post said, well, it's against their policy to bring children into their editorials. However, he understood why she did it, given the fact that soundbite we rolled where Ted Cruz actually used his own children. That doesn't make it okay?
Well, but then the justification is that they took it one step further and turned his children, Latino children, into monkeys. That they're okay with that. Look, every presidential candidate, for the most part, involves their children in some way. And sort of the unspoken rule is, okay, but we don't go after them and paint them in this kind of way. We don't degrade the children. Even when Democrats and Republicans introduce their children on convention stages and maybe put them in ads, the unspoken rule is you don't do this. But they thought it was okay because he's a staunch conservative, because now he's giving Donald Trump for a run for his money in the polls, so he could actually be the nominee and possibly president. They've got to try to take these people down. As soon as a conservative gets real traction, they've got to try to destroy them, and that's what this was about.
No doubt there's the unwritten, unspoken rule of never bringing anyone's children into the debate. I totally agree with that. There are others that say First Amendment, you know what are we worried about?
Well, First Amendment, sure. And who's more opposed to the word police than me? Nobody. However, I'm pointing to the double standard. Because if the left wants to go ahead and do this to Senator Cruz and use the banner of the First Amendment to defend themselves, great, knock yourself out. But then do it to the people on their own side, too. And they don't.
You know, President Obama, I would agree with you. I think President Obama even has, on this NPR interview he gave the other day, he actually alluded to the fact that maybe people push back on some of his policy because he alluded to this because he's African American.
Yeah, here we go again, right? 7 years into his presidency, he was elected, he was reelected by big majorities in this country, and he's still playing the race card. That kind of thing is so tiresome, it's so pathetic, it's so beneath the office of the president and this particular president, and yet he's still playing it. Why? Because we're going into an election year. Hillary Clinton will be running, assuming she's the nominee, as the first female president. She's already playing the gender card against Donald Trump and some of the Republicans. This is what they do. They have to carve up the electorate, play identity politics in order to get elected, divide and conquer.
Haven't seen this much identity politics probably ever.
Well, but this is what they do because this is the only way they can win, divide and conquer.
I'll leave it right there, Monica. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Monica.
Merry Christmas to you, too.